the architecture of absence. You know, we have this wonderfully absurd habit as human beings. We are absolutely terrified of empty space. The moment we acquire a room, we immediately rush to fill it with furniture. The moment we are faced with a blank wall, we feel this tremendous anxiety. We cover it with pictures. The moment we have a quiet hour, we fill it with noise, with chatter, with screens. We treat emptiness as if it were a kind of failure, as if a void is simply a mistake waiting to be corrected. But why do we do this? Why this desperate urge to clutter our environment? It is because empty space acts as an amplifier. If you take a very busy, very anxious mind and place it into a perfectly empty room, the mind echoes. The internal noise becomes deafening, and so we use physical clutter to muffle the psychological noise. We surround ourselves with objects and distractions so we don't have to listen to ourselves. Have you ever noticed how exhausting it is just to look at things? Every single object in a crowded room is subtly demanding a tiny fraction of your attention. This chair asks to be sat in. That book asks to be read. That blinking light asks to be checked. Your brain is constantly processing 1,000 silent demands. But have you ever noticed what happens when you step into an entirely empty room and you simply force yourself to stay there? When you walk into a massive, hollow, concrete hall, or stand at the edge of a vast, abandoned desert landscape, there is a sudden, profound shift. Look at our modern architecture. It is an architecture of consumption. It is covered in signs and screens and narrow hallways designed to funnel you toward a destination. It is constantly asking you, what can you buy? Where are you going? What are you doing? The empty room asks nothing of you. The silent desert doesn't ask you to be anyone in particular. It simply allows you to be. We call it negative space, as if it's lacking something, as if the absence of a thing is a deficit. But the truth of the matter is, the mind only truly begins to breathe when the world around it finally stops speaking. You see, human design is generally a very loud affair. It is structured noise. It is designed to direct your attention outward, keeping you perpetually engaged in the external world. But the architecture of absence, the silent void, does exactly the opposite. When you strip away the structural noise, the decorations, the relentless visual chatter, what you're left with is a profound mirror. The empty space doesn't distract you from yourself. It forces you to confront the space within. And for many people, finally meeting themselves in the silence is a terrifying introduction. We are so used to being entertained, so completely absorbed in the drama of the external world, that the moment the place stops, we panic. We look around the empty hall and think, good heavens, what do I do with myself now? But this is precisely the psychological necessity of the void. We secretly crave these abandoned, empty spaces because our internal world has become so incredibly crowded. We are suffocating under the heavy, exhausting weight of our own thoughts, our endless plans, our anxieties about the future. We desperately need an external manifestation of the silence we cannot seem to find within our own heads. Have you ever walked into a massive stone cathedral long after the crowds have left? Or stood alone in an empty, concrete parking garage at 3 in the morning? The sheer volume of the air around you feels different. It is not a dead, sterile silence. It is a thick, resonant, living silence. It is an architecture built not of stone or wood, but of pure anticipation. It feels pregnant with possibility. It is the space in which all things happen. Think about the pure, essential void between things. It is the silence between the musical notes that actually gives the music its rhythm and its beauty. Without the silence, a symphony is just an exhausting, chaotic wall of noise. Without the empty space, a room is just a closet. The emptiness is not nothing. It is the very canvas of reality. It is the very thing that makes the something possible. So the next time you find yourself in an empty echoing hall or looking out over a barren sweeping landscape, don't rush to fill it. Don't immediately pull out your phone to escape it. Just stand there. Let the architecture of absence do its work. Let the silence echo through you, and perhaps you will find that the void is exactly what you were looking for all along.